So you probably heard the name Karen a lot recently, or even Kevin. Well, this morning we're talking live with a psychologist about what makes a Karen and maybe how to avoid becoming one.
All right, thanks, Brooks. The Karen meme, which has become so ubiquitous, it's been used as a Halloween costume, bursting onto the scene in the last couple of years to depict white women who stereotypically had to speak to the manager, everything from haircuts to other things that go wrong. These videos continue to be shared around social media, showing a woman ranting about wearing a face mask while in a grocery store. Now, Karen, used as an identifier for any white woman who acts inappropriately, rudely, or in an entitled fashion.
All right, so what is this label all about, and is it fair?
Right.
Lots of questions. Board-certified psychologist Carole Lieberman is here to help us crack the psychology of a Karen. I mean, is this a fair tag or title to be putting on anybody in the first place?
Well, you know, it's a little misunderstood because it's a little more complex than what we're seeing. It's not just that these women are, you know, they are entitled, they feel entitled, or at least that's what they project. Yeah. They're drama queens, and they pick on people who they think are lower than they are in some way, whether it's race or socioeconomic status or some other reason. But what's being sort of overlooked is that these are women who have psychological problems, and they pick on these people because, and they create this drama, and they call for assistance to get somebody to validate them and prove that they are special. So really, underneath, there's an inferiority complex, and this is just all a drama to prove that, oh, you know, I'm better than you are, I'm really special.
Well, why is this pegged just to white women?
Well, actually, it started as a comedy routine, and then, of course, Kate Goslin was one of the more famous examples of this, and we see how she treated her husband, and she took him through a custody battle for 10 years and so on, and that was kind of a very powerful woman, and a kind of an obnoxiously powerful woman. But, you know, when you look at some of the more famous Karens, like the Amy Cooper in Central Park. That was one of the big ones recently. And her background explains what I'm saying. Yes, she called the police on this black man, and she said, you know, it's a black man who's harassing me, or words to that effect. And yes, that could have been dangerous. It was the same weekend as George Floyd, so yes, it could have been dangerous. But it turns out that she has a history of having stalked a man who she liked, you know, had emotional, romantic feelings towards, and who rejected her. And she stalked him and harassed him, and he had to call the police on her. And then she sued him. It was a whole. So what that shows is that underlying this behavior, there are traumas, there are psychological problems in these women, and they're just kind of acting it out by trying to seem superior.
Well, and sometimes if there's a pattern of behavior, like
it's cyclical.
You've been the victim 5 times now. Like
Maybe the problem is you.
Maybe there's something going on here. And what do you suggest people do? I mean, Kevin is the male version of Karen, what have you. What do you suggest people do if they find themselves in a confrontation with a person like this?
Well, the worst thing to do is to keep it up, because a Karen she will keep it going for as long as you answer back to her. So the best thing is to sort of act like, you know, I think you should go get some help. Obviously, there are some things bothering you from your past, and you should address them instead of taking it out on me.
You said the opposite of a Karen is a Sharon. I said everybody should be a Sharon instead.
Yes, it would be nice if people, you know, if you just take care of yourself and stop using other people to make you feel superior. That would be, especially in these days, that would be a big help.
All right, Carole, thank you so much. Definitely some perspective, and I'm sure something a phrase we've all heard on Nextdoor and Facebook and all these social platforms where folks are certainly not holding back.
That's a polite way of putting it.
Thanks, Carole. 9:22 on your